Because my goodness, if archaeology is wrong about the story of the peopling of the Americas, if it's radically wrong, as it now appears to be, then our whole understanding of human history.
So I found this video on YouTube with Graham Hancock on the Joe Rogan show. So basically what he is stating is they're peeling layers back from the Amazon rainforest and they're discovering that there was actually a very heavily populated civilization here back in this time, and they were an advanced civilization that predates the Ice Age. So just lock in and tell me what you think.
So this shows the Amazon, 6.7 million square kilometers. There's still 5.5 million left covered by rainforest. That's bigger than the entire subcontinent of India. And hardly any archaeology has been done. And the archaeology that is being done is fascinating. And it's particularly in the state of Ache.
And what's the conventional explanation for these things?
There is no conventional explanation because really it's only begun to be studied.
Amazing.
So
Good
we're
for
looking
him.
at Fazenda Cipoal here, where we have an octagon with rounded corners. You see the smoke in the background there?
Mm-hmm.
That's the Amazon burning. That's settlers clearing the Amazon to create more farms. But in the foreground, we have this enormous geometrical event, which is a huge oval surrounding a square. This was found as a result of the clearances. That's how it became. Archaeologists became aware that these things exist. Clearances ultimately will destroy the entire Amazon if they're allowed to continue. Jacosa, on the left, a square surrounding a circle, and here's a couple of scientist shots of Jacosa. You can see there's a large square earthwork and a circle in it. That's almost, not quite, but almost like the Greek exercise of squaring the circle. It's like geometrical exercises are taking place here in the Amazon. There's just so much of this stuff. Taquino, absolutely giant geoglyph. And these things really, on the old view of the Amazon, shouldn't exist. They involve enormous expenditure of effort. Creating these earthworks is a huge job. If there was a lot of stone in the Amazon, I think we'd see stone circles on them as well. There's one place further north called Rego Grande where there is an earthwork with a stone circle in it because stone is locally available.
So do you think this was the base of a structure? Like, what is the speculation?
No, I don't think so. I've talked to indigenous people there who still respect and revere them. And they say that they were for shamanic journeying, that the population would gather within them, that there would be certain areas that might be reserved for the shamans. For example, the square on the left, those two cut-out areas, top left and right of that square, it suggested that shamans were in there and the rest of the population were in the other area, and they were undertaking visionary journeys, perhaps using ayahuasca.
This is their folklore, or this is their story?
Yes, this is the story of indigenous
so that's
indigenous
what they
people.
say,
I talked to an Apurina elder, and he said, we don't know exactly why these places were made. They were made so long ago, but we respect them, we revere them, and we think that they were used by shamans in the distant past. Structures. I'm drawing attention here to Severino Calazans, this large square on the left there, which has coincidentally the same footprint as the Great Pyramid of Giza. It just shows you the size of that enormous earthwork.
Yeah, that's big.
But it's a mystery. More work needs to be done, and much more needs to be surveyed. And thanks to LiDAR, that can be done non-invasively. We can spot these things. Very small teams can go in and do a bit of excavation there and figure out what was going on. I think the story is going to go back further and further into the past. But I think the main point is
someone made it.
Someone made it, and it involved a very large amount of organized labor in order to make it. There had to be the will and the intent in order to do that. It's interesting that the patterns are geometrical.
And are they geometrical, like with the perfect length? And
yes,
like
yes, they're very
match up with each other.
They're very, very good. Fazenda Parana and Severina Calazans are both aligned to true astronomical north. That's different from compass north. That requires astronomy. You can't get true north without using astronomy. So this tells us not only was there a culture that was capable of creating large-scale public projects, but also they had astronomers amongst them.